All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It is playoffs. 70-star Division 2, m0m0 versus Pete in the quarterfinals. Both of them right here. This is a live race. Pete playing around the Penguin, m0m0 just on the menu screen. Face cam for m0m0, none for Pete. I'm Bajonas, going to be bringing this one to you guys live. Both these runners have placed top 8 in the league and are going to be facing off for a spot in the semifinals. If we go to the bracket, we've got the winner of this match playing the winner of Blue Bob and Sack still, which Blue Bob is the heavy favorite, but Sack's still a pretty good player as well. And the winner of that will go to the finals, of course. m0m0 versus Pete is kind of a toss-up. I think this one is maybe one of the most up in the air because both runners have similar PBs. m0m0 is a quite consistent player. He kind of gets slow but steady gameplay and has fairly good race times. Pete is maybe a little bit more erratic, but he's fairly consistent as well. And in the races, he's been putting up some good times too. So there's a lot on the line here. Pete finished in 5th, m0m0 finished in 4th. So this is like the this is the closest seed matchup of the quarterfinals. And Pete trying to play with the Penguin. There he goes. And you got the countdown from Milo, and the race is going to be off. m0m0 looks quite comfy with that scarf, and then the warm lighting. It's got to be said. So m0m0 on Japanese, Pete on English. I think one of the key points in this match is going to be the route and SSL. I'm not sure if they race the Penguin or not, but if you have to do double plus, that is a huge thing to do. Especially if you're in D2, it's probably not something you're likely to get every time. So m0m0 and Pete are going to have to try to be ahead coming out of basement. And then upstairs, there's a whole bunch of opportunities for the lead to change. But if you can get off to a good start, starting with Wom, starting with Lactuskid, m0m0's got it. Pete's lagging a little bit, but that's just due to the intro. And we're going to see bomb clip from both runners. Let's see. It's a big bomb. Pete, whoa, weird throw there. He's going around to respawn the bomb. Got to slow down just a little bit. Much more under control. Grabbing that start. Yeah, Pete's throw was kind of off in a weird direction. I'm not sure what he was going for with that. Pretty comfy start for m0m0. Getting off to a nice lead is always what you want to see if you're repping the m0m0 crowd. 12-9 on the slide. If you got a guess for Pete, throw it out. I'm assuming you 12-8. Maybe another 12-9. No, 12-7. Okay. So making up some ground. m0m0 with a brilliant guess. What a nut. Alright, Alice for m0m0. Taking some time to reset his initial starting place, and that's not going to be a good wall kick. Going again, looks fine. Yep, able to get in there. Pete also started with Owless. It's not something you see, and he also missed it. Alright. Resetting the camera. This is a bit of an awkward spot. He's getting around and able to get it second try as well. That would have given him some time to catch up and would have been relatively even with m0m0 if he'd gotten Owless first try. Now he's still about, 10 seconds behind. A little bit more. Safe cannonless setup for m0m0 with the backflip. But he is right on the money. Let's see, Pete also going for the stock folder setup. m0m0 is leaving 100 coin for pretty late. Usually you don't want to get wild blue before 100 coin because if you go for that side flip wall kick right under the star, if you grab the star, you're going to lose a massive amount of time. Pete is going for the regular half cycle skip, which is like the general fast cycle but not the pro cycle. That side flip wall kick right there is what can really cost you a lot of time. m0m0 is going for half cycle though. This is extremely comfy. Half cycle is something that loses maybe 7 seconds over what Pete's doing, but Pete also fell. And he's not getting that backup. He tried to jump too early out of the slide. Has to do another rollout. That wall is very interesting. It's not a regular wall that you can wall kick off of. So, Pete doing some insane maneuvers to grab the blue. And m0m0 having to do a wall kick there. Wait a minute. Did he just do like the super comfy cycle? I have no idea what he's doing and he's falling down. He didn't even hit the prod, I don't believe. Does he need it? No. Okay, that one's gotten triggered. He's activated. Now he has to wait for him to go back to sleep. Meanwhile, Pete is already done with the star. Oh, this is terrible for m0m0. Going bad to worse. He's gotten the blue coin. I think the rest of it should be normal. That was a massive meltdown. And that would have been a bonk, but he actually kicked. I am surprised that he actually made it above that ledge. I expected him to land on the stair and have to do another jump. Pete wrapping up wild blue. I think he's had a few unnecessary X-cam delays by bouncing or jumping into the star. Yeah, Pete is truly ahead right now, only by like a few seconds. But they are synced. Both of them getting 3 quick hits in. Pete going for the ground pounds through the womp and m0m0 doing the same. So with Womps 9, a decent Womps with like maybe 1 missed Owless or Cannonless will be sub 7. These guys are not off to the greatest start. And it's a long race, so there's plenty of time to make up Pete ground pounding before grabbing the star. m0m0 coming in like 3 seconds behind, maybe not even. This is very close. But I bet if the runners weren't aware, they would think they'd be behind by a whole lot. Alright, I'm going to say maybe another 12-7 for Pete, 12-8 for m0m0. $12-7 and 12-7. Alright. 2 not quite getting it on the mark the last time, but it was pretty close. It is great to have a race so close though, 3 seconds apart going into win cap. It doesn't matter how much you win by, it doesn't matter what you had to do, it just matters if you get the W. And m0m0 have a lot to play for right now. It is just to stay alive in this competition. It's best of 1. Semis are best of 3. And finals as well. But this match is just one and done. And you have to convert. m0m0 hitting the switch, that's going to send him back another like 3 seconds. Alright, Peep dropping into Dark Road as m0m0 goes through the 8th star door. The death in here could really kill the run. But I'm sure you all know that by now. Peep going for the regular shake cycle, but he's not getting the triple jump. He starting his double jump on the slope, so that's not going to enable him to get the right triple jump walking that m0m0 is going for here. It's going to be a normal cycle, which means m0m0 can catch up. Peep getting amped, still normal cycle though. Going for the poverty movement. Sometimes I think it's more dangerous and stuff like that can happen. That's why I'm not a fan. m0m0 takes the lead. Has to kick to stay alive. There we go, a lead switch has just occurred. Pete, by going for the poverty movement, did not get a good turn on that red coin. Missed it completely. And that's gonna give... Oh my god, m0m0! He nearly went into the pipe. Which is maybe the worst thing you can do. It's not, because you can just get a different star later in the run. But that's an absolute nail biter. Yeah, I'm awake. Alright, both hitting the throw. So what was a bad start for Pete turned into a really close Womps exit. Pete took the lead in win cap, and now m0m0 is back ahead. Had like 4 lead changes already. I'm sure that's what you wanted to see. Now m0m0 and Pete were in the league last season for season 1. They were both like top 8. m0m0 got 3rd, and Pete got a little bit below that. I can't remember exactly. Wow, the sinking sky jump is unbelievable. They're going down here literally to the frame on those triple jumps, and Pete maybe getting a couple frames saved on the flight path. That is absolutely absurd. I don't know how m0m0 managed to lose the exact amount of time to sync that up, but it's as if you're watching a replay here. English text perhaps might have been in... No, never mind, there's no text there. But it's still like a neck and neck race. It's been like 3-4 second mistakes either way to lose time. m0m0 starting with Penguin and then deciding to... Okay, Pete missing wall kicks, that's gonna lose like 5 seconds. Not a bad backup, that was a really good adjustment to get right into those side flips. You know, m0m0 starting with the Penguin is kind of interesting. A lot of people say that's the easiest start and it's not really worth doing up front. But it's not like you're gonna do many backups. The only real backup is if you miss the Penguin, or you miss a triple jump up to the Penguin and you decide to go in the chimney. So then you do slip sliding away instead of the Penguin. But like once you commit to wall kicks will work, for example, you're gonna do that star, even if you mess it up, so it doesn't matter too much what order you do them in. m0m0 going for the slide. This will be a Penguin race. It's CCM 18. Yeah, I understand that logic, Salt and Ginger. I know that's like what Electric says. I feel like it's not even worth thinking about, because if you plan on dying to wall kicks will work, it's like, what are you even doing? Star Sync. I don't know if this is exactly the same. I think so, because they have to do the penguin race now. You have double penguin race coming up here, and if one of them fails it, this neck and neck race can widen up a lot. Alright, they are once again exactly synced coming to the warp, but Pete getting the safety red. Momo's in the lead right now because of that decision, but the consistency from Pete means he doesn't have to worry about collecting coins. Very interesting how the little things are making a big difference in this quarterfinal matchup. Alright, Momo's got every coin. The hard part's done. You can miss one at the end. Pete can miss two. If you grab the safety red, you generally don't jump. You generally don't wait to jump for the last coin before the arc. You just jump early. Because if you miss the jump for the arch, then you fail the slide no matter what. Oh, Pete not getting that long jump. Alright. So Momo taking the lead once again. Nice bonk. And we're starting off with haunted books here. Generally the easier star. Interesting that they both went for haunted books. There's not much else to say about it. But since balcony is a little bit more difficult, sometimes you end up stuck. I'm almost flipping the fence here. Pete electing to go on Lactic Cam as well. Usually I would say Mario Cam is better, but it really doesn't matter too much. You can do the star well both ways. Alright, one more coming up here. Both of them going for the punch. And that'll be 20 stars. So they've made it through lobby with quite a few bumps, but still driving along. And we're going to be in basement where a lot of things will be decided. Coming into the mid game of the run here. Alright, just a couple MIPS grabs. Momo entering SSL at 17:29. This is where like a world record pace run might be exiting SSL with 24 stars. Pete 8 seconds behind. Momo getting a big bomb first try. This will be good. The angle will work. He's also getting a quite safe approach by going over the dark patches sand rather than just over the regular quicksand pits. Pete getting a nice plus as well, right into the pyramid, not even delaying on the slope to adjust his angle. He was right in there as soon as he got the spot, so pretty sick stuff. Plus is usually the biggest time variant star in basement. If you miss it or worse, die. But now we're kind of looking at the rest of these stars. Lethal Lava Land, DDD, being a little bit of passive time loss here. And perhaps a death in the volcano. You see those every so often on Lava Boost. But it's good to see this stage go well. Alright, let's check out the star order. Looks like it's going to be Reds. Going for the comfy triple long jump strat. This is quite easy to do, and it's also not much slower than the good strat. Pete is also angling his camera this way. These runners are quite similar in their approach with the route, Mountain 18, and a few of the strats that I've seen them do. You mean land, EBM? Alright, m0m0 wing cap. Going for the tried and true jump dive with the wing cap and flying over the fence. Some people have maybe a misconception that it's slower to do that rather than to actually clip the fence and fall down. We'll see if Pete just flying over. That was a bit slow. He didn't have much speed coming out of the wing cap. I think the speed kick kind of held him back. But it's not really something that you can do well every time, because if you try to get a good speed kick, you'll end up failing the star more often than you really need to. And that's a star that loses a lot of time when you mess it up. You might have to reset your triple jump and everything, and that can be a massive drain. So what they're doing is just fine m0m0 taking care of the bully, not getting the perfect ending, but he's pretty comfortable, it seems to me. Pete, triple jump lava boost, very comfy. This is something that a few players do. I think Protoman and Heisen do this. I think Heisen upgraded his lava boost, but he's also more concerned with 120 strats, so it's understandable they did something safer for lava boost, since you don't do that in 120. You do it with 100 coin. Oh, backflip, that's always a fun mistake. And getting bodied now. Mario's wallets are empty, turning on with a quick ground pound though, retaliating with the force to be reckoned with. Very impressive. So m0m0 has not yet gone in the volcano. Pete is taking care of his volcano stars before the bullies. Yes, Fluffy, these are indeed best of ones. Winner take all. And if you lose, you will be out of the playoffs. Oh, m0m0, what happened there? He fell down on the elevator, getting a burn. That's a very unfortunate death. Oh, he failed lava boost. And then... oh, the bullies hit him again! It's the same thing. Another death. He's landing on the elevator, but still gonna bleed out. Who would have thought? Bullies being massive troublemakers today. And m0m0, oh my god, he's gonna die a third time in the volcano. This is insane. I don't know if anyone's gotten bullied as much as m0m0 right now. Oh my god, Pete though, he's scared. He's doing the exact he's trying to make up for all that bullying. And what is going on? m0m0 cannot get lava boost. I don't even know what to commentate right now. Both these owners having a meltdown. It is lethal lava land, sure, but it's not supposed to be that lethal, okay? Lava boost, not the easiest, but it's not the hardest. I think m0m0 just lost the muscle memory on how to do this. He's not able to hold the right angle at the right time. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Meanwhile, Pete was in a life or death boxing match with the one bully, and this is going to be resignation from m0m0. He's going up the volcano when one star could be all that it takes to determine his playoff future. Wait, that's a nice rollout over the flame shooter, though. I quite like that. That was at least 4 deaths. UVM says 5? Maybe. It could have been. It could very well have been 5 deaths. And you gotta move on. That's the hard thing. You're still looking at that as a very defining feature of this race, which had a lot of bumps early on and was quite scuffed all throughout lobby. But they both made similar mistakes. Now when m0m0 loses like 2 minutes and Pete maybe loses 20 seconds still, you have a massive time differential to make up. Confirmation that it was 5 deaths in the volcano. Might be a new world record, but maybe not that. Maybe not one that you wanted to hold. Pete coming up on the sub. Pretty decent. You need a lot of lag on the sub. I think the least laggy way to do it is to go into lag cam C down and spam C left. So that when you grab the star, you have a sideways camera. That's besides the point. m0m0 going on a very wide turn to approach the chest. See, m0m0's a very comfy player. I think going for that long jump lava boost, even if it's a regular strat for him, is something that like doesn't really need to happen. Although if you go for a slower lava boost, you're obviously losing a ton of time. So it's m0m0 deciding like, hey, I'm gonna be consistent, but I need to do a decent lava boost and not lose like a bunch of time just to going slow. But it's kind of cruel fate that the one time he tried to do something a bit more difficult was the thing that lost him well over a minute, because he died 5 times. Oh my god, Pete missed the red. That's gonna be a rage pause. And he's gonna miss lava boost and early Ellie's. Have to wait for a normal cycle. For some extra bulkies here, Pete is kind of chugging along slowly. Luckily though, it's really easy to get on time for a normal cycle, even if you make a big mistake. Right. Oh, he's missed the wall kick. That really is annoying, because then you have to get this bad elevator cycle. I don't know what he's going for here. So that might be a little too late. Okay. Yeah. Dude, Pete is on 3 HP. He's about to hit the lava and he barely gets out in time. That would have been a massive death. That would have put m0m0 pretty much back to a tie game if Pete had not jumped out of there. He very nearly took one of the worst deaths in the game. If you were cheering for m0m0, you would have been hoping for Pete to mistime some inputs. But that's not the case. m0m0 does have plenty of time to make up here. A lava boost would be huge to get him back in touching distance. And there's so much time to go upstairs, but he's missed the red coin. The exact same mistake. It happened a little bit differently, sure, but they both missed the same coin. And you're gonna have to see the same normal cycle come out. Now, as bad as that looks, he can still save like 15 seconds probably, because Pete missed the wall kicks and then had a terrible ending. Okay, m0m0 coming around. Usually if you're that late, you just want to wait and then long jump. But, okay, m0m0 going for the long jump wall kicks. And getting amped, that's why you don't do that. 3 HP now, might want to tap the heart. Oh my god, he's got to get back up there. Okay. Momo and Pete both on very low health in this area of the map when they really have to worry about grabbing that 8th red without dying. If you can't long jump over the elevators, you usually just go for a lava burn. Oh my god, Momo going way over the star, back down to 3 HP. He's still got to make up some wall kicks. And 1 health. Just gotta play it real safe now. Okay. That lost even more time than what happened to Pete, though. I can't believe what was lethal about piracy was actually the very end, and not even anything in the middle. Exactly, this whole race is just a giant Monka. Probably not their finest hour, but it's exciting. You gotta give it that. Yeah, there's promotions up for grabs, and there's also prize moolah. He's going for a top of the helmet with a very interesting camera angle. I thought he was gonna fall. Something about this race, almost every star is giving these runners some kind of trouble where if one thing went a little bit more wrong, they would have lost massive amounts of time. These are best of 1 races, phosphazine, and then semis and finals are best of 3. The prize is money. I don't know how much. It's not like a ton of money, but it's something. It's not like $5. I have to ask Milo or someone else. Then the promotions will be like the top 2 is how it worked last season, but they might make it so that only the winner gets promoted and then the rest kind of go through a different process. But yeah, it's at least 1, probably 2. There will be at least 3 spots open in D1, but there's also gonna be like qualifiers, so I'm not exactly sure how they've decided to structure the postseason. It's kind of interesting that they're both doing 100 coin right now, so we have some good old fake sync. Would you look at that? How does it keep happening? Like, through all of this, they still find a way to like get back on the same frame with each other. He just paused to sync it up. I'm sure he did. There's been so much sync in this race. He's having some trouble with that forward secret. And not getting those double long jumps into the mountain, which you kind of need to clip. Alright, he's got the star. He needs to make sure he doesn't run off the wrong side of the mountain. He's good. Getting the ledge grab. Mario has some very tough fingers though, and probably gloves of titanium. But it's going to be top of the island from Pete here. Not going for mountain clip. Just going around on the wood playing good. Loses less than a second, but it's really not a bad strat. m0m0 is finally on his last star in Wedge World, top of the town. You might recall Pete almost fell down at the very end here. We're going for the triple jump dive strat. which he pulled it off a little bit better. It wasn't perfect, but at least it removes the risk of completely whiffing. As long as you don't like mistime your inputs, I guess. So it looks like m0m0's entering as Pete's leaving. Let's see how these secrets go. Pete had plenty of room for improvement here. If m0m0 can make up some time, this might be the start of a comeback. And there's still a lot of room for it in this race. We got TTM, all of Tippy, a little bit in between. You really never know what you can expect from a race like this. Especially because both of them look very vulnerable. Pete is like a couple close shaves away from being pretty much tied with m0m0. m0m0 with a bonk on the pipe. You can see why people say THI sucks. That geometry just kills you. He got pretty much pushed onto a slope that slid him down like a pretty long way. Alright, comfy reds for Pete. But he gets through. m0m0 missing the pipe. If he had gotten in the water, that would have been a big time loss, but he's able to hold back enough to stay on land. Right here on solid ground. Pete TTM, I think the first star went fine. Coming up for another log ball kick. I have to see if he did breeze instead. m0m0 is finally done heading out of THI, 3 stars down, but one of them is towed. So it might not be as much as the 3-star lead suggests. A lot of it is due to that like minute and a half he lost Neepa Lava because of lava boost deaths. Second log walking is good. He must have done the breeze first. And pretty decent ending. Those 2 stars are probably the second and third hardest in the stage. But if you're looking for big meltdowns, like you can always play it safe on reds like Pete did, but those stars you have to do like you're always risking a little bit. You can opt not to do the log wall kick. That's like quite slow. It only loses like a second or so, but if you do it twice, that's 2 seconds. And then if you do the rest of the stars slow, you're losing maybe like 3. Okay, Pete is going... Oh, I'm stupid. He went for reds first, and then went for the 2 mountain clip stars, then breezeless. Breezeless did not work, but he's going for it again. That's not going to work either. He committed to the ground pound anyway. He really wants to get breezes. I don't know why, but this is not the hill you want to die on. Apparently he gets through. So this won't be the big meltdown that m0m0 might have needed. I'm actually kind of surprised that third breezes attempt worked. It looked like the wall kick was a little bit low. m0m0 taking the box. Only 2 stars behind. He deep breed. This is a quite interesting star order. Now it's not necessary to do 1 star first, but almost everyone will do Snowman's Head because it's by far the easiest one to lose a bunch of time on. It's not necessarily one of the hardest stars in the game, but it's quite hard to do well all the time. m0m0 with some dives on the mushrooms. Safe, but not too safe. Alright, he got through the red coin maze. Hardest star is Toad. All right, we got m0m0 coming up for that breeze. Getting that star. Pete dropping up. Chill with the bully. Got one more star. And for some reason, it's Snowman's big head. Alright, playing it quite safe. Coming down here for the wall kicks. Alright, not too bad. Getting it pretty smoothly. m0m0 going for the quite comfy strat alternative. Since if you miss the ground pound on the box, doing the fast way, it's about the same speed as what m0m0 just did. It's a pretty nice compromise to decide to do that strat instead. And Pete's got nipped the second time. Let's see m0m0 on someone's head going for the triple jump. And he made the wall kick with the ledge grab, not quite the side flip, but still saving a little bit of time, and everywhere counts. You never know what can happen, Tippy, that'll make a couple seconds difference, meaning between winning and losing. Alright, 55 to 52. Pete with the ground pound. m0m0 coming down into the basement. Got two quick ones in Mibs and Toad. And then it's 3 or 4 in the stage. Pete's got his second. He needs 2 more. I think he's saving Christmas Miracle for last. Very interesting start orders coming out from your boy Pete. Peter Ford, the cup stacking master. m0m0 entering HMC now, so it's still possible for a comeback to happen. It's not likely, of course. But we're looking at maybe a minute 20, perhaps. Nice box jump. Way to land right on that star. m0m0 getting a good start to the stage. And Pete on the last one, that should hit the switch. You got to get a high wall kick and not a late frame one either. That was, I think, a firstie. So definitely gonna hit that switch. I don't think he's on 50 pace, JJ. This has been a quite scuffed run. At least in the beginning, it was quite bad for both. Then the mid game has been a few close calls, but m0m0 eventually fell really far behind after dying in the volcano like 5 times. So Pete is a good bit ahead, but I would say this is like 51 pace. Interesting long jump angle. m0m0 looking a bit dusty. Alright, we have Peter entering Rainbow Ride. And Lactu Bounce is, in a lot of ways, the beginning of the end. If you get this star, you can be off to a pretty good tippy. But if you end up dying or losing a lot of time here, it can put you off on the wrong foot. Yeah, no Wilco clip. Very sad. Alright, but Pete's got it. He made Lactu Bounce. m0m0 diving. you end up taking fall damage, which slows you down, which is why Pete dove at the very end. Alright, here we got red coins. This star is quite complex, and most people, I think, lose like a second or two here, even if they do it well. This is going to lose more than a couple seconds. Pete falling off of the block he needed to jump from. So got caught up a little bit. Now into the coin maze, going for some safe dives here, and the wall kicks rather than the small dive where you actually hold backwards and you slide in reverse after grabbing the 5th coin. And m0m0 finally getting up to Rainbow Ride here. 2 stars behind, but Pete going in pretty much looking like a minute, maybe a minute 10. m0m0 getting that lag 2 bounce, that's huge. He needs every star to go right. Not only does Pete have to make mistakes, m0m0 has to play well. And in Tippy, anything can happen, right? We always talk about as it's from the underdog's perspective, like, oh, just have a good Tippy, your opponent could mess up. It's really not that easy because something is usually bound to happen just by Murphy's Law, that something will go wrong. Pete, this might be one thing. He's going to be late for the cycle here. Because they ground pound, he's not going to be able to set up on this pendulum. So he has to like wait a long time to ride the swing. He has to do this triple jump back up now, and if he misses this, okay, landing on top, that's quite a difficult triple jump to do. You need good movement just to hit the spot right. So that's always a scary backup when you have to see it. Alright, Pete entering TikTok clock, 45:32. That is right on the edge of time moving. Okay, he still stopped. Very optimal from Pete, that's what we call it. If you're not optimal, you're a bad player. Oh, Mo, what the bump? Not getting a rollout. Maybe just an issue with timing inputs once again being an issue. Alright, going for safe triangles. He's going to try to do pro tricky triangles to catch up, which Pete... actually, I don't know if Pete went for pro triangles. Pete is stuck here if he falls. Okay, that is a very sketchy place to be. If you miss that wall kick, you will fall all the way down. And with that camera angle, it looked very dicey. So Pete was pretty much inches away from a massive mistake. It's still not over though. He has to get these last couple jumps. And he's been invis while falling down here. Is he going to go around? Yes, he's playing this very safe. Oh my god, it's so safe. But it also looks so nail-biting. And that's triple jump dive. He's made it up. Alright, no death from Pete. m0m0 talking to Toad first. He's going to be on 64 stars as m0m0 enters TikTok clock. So making that bomb cycle looking nice. This is just a war of attrition for Pete if he can pretty much hold it together. m0m0, interesting triple jump. Looks like he's going for time jumps on moving bars. Usually people go for 100 coins, but you can do any order that you want as long as your first star is on time stop. Hitting the pendulums for Pete. There's a slightly faster strat that is way harder to do. What Pete did was not perfect execution either, but it's quite difficult to do that star optimally. Let's see here, m0m0 coming up. He's unpinned the pendulum, same strat. Getting right behind that pendulum cycle. Oh, Pete, did he miss the triple jump wall kick? I think he did. He's going around here on time moving, going for get a hand. That's a pretty slow one to back up because the star with time moving is about 8 seconds. When you have to do that back up, you're losing like 5 or more. But both these runners looking fairly sturdy. They have been making mistakes, of course. It's always been like this for Pete. I feel like this whole race has been stacking more cards, so it looks like the house is sturdy right now, but anything could send it tumbling down. He only has a couple left, so it looks like Pete might just make it into the clear, but there's also Bowser in the sky, which if you've seen a lot of races, and especially involving people like Cheese, it is not anything to overlook. Yeah, you're right, of course, 2mil, like, he just has to play not to die, but that's kind of a dangerous mindset, because you can get in your own head. So Pete has been avoiding these massive mistakes, sure. But you always have the fear of something kind of going over the top and being too much for him to back up, so if he had fallen down at the end of TDC 100, or maybe messed up one of his backups for like time moving to walk, for example. And I also think of Fire C, where he had that very close call at the end. He also bonked on reds, not that big of a mistake. That's a bigger one. Bonking here takes fall damage, and you will spend a lot more time getting up. Yeah, Pete still ahead. There's nothing Momo can do about it, but the star count has gotten a bit closer. Pete is on 69, gonna get 70 from Toad, where Momo just has to finish TDC 100. This is still possible. And I said before that all it takes is for something to go wrong, and that still holds true. Anything can happen in Tippy. Alright, Momo coming up here. He's had to fight so hard to battle back from losing like a minute and a half at Lethal Lava Land. But he's stayed on par with Pete, or a little bit better. He's got himself within a minute. I'd say Pete is on low 52 pace. He missed a cycle. Going quite slowly up this slippery slope. Alright, what Triple Jump Walking will he do? Moving left. That's not going to give him enough space to go around. Standing left side as the backup. He actually does make that work. Alright, you got to be careful on these elevators though. There's nothing to rush. Oh, I can't believe he ledge grabbed. He could have bonked. And the invisible going to knock him down a peg. Luckily, that's not the worst thing. Alright, Pete has to throw these Goombas. Usually there's not two Goombas over there. That's quite sketchy in terms of game RNG. Momo entering bits as Pete enters throws. I think this might be a W for the Cub stacking Trollmaster himself. 52 to put him in the semifinals. That's one missed throw. Momo coming up here in Sky. Pete getting shocked. He's got to be a little bit careful. Right, going for these spins. Hitting the first one. Got the regrab. Awkward camera angle, but still looking quite good on his aim. Pete is actually a quite fast spinner. He can do one spins. Let's see what he's got. And that's a one spin to close it out. Pete, 52 and a semifinal spot. Commiserations to Momo, who played really well this whole season. But that will be a 52-36. 38. GG. Beater Ford. Alright, that is the first D2 playoff match. Probably not the race either of them wanted in terms of their own time. It was quite fun. Pete's gonna leave us here. Wow, that was a bit of like a hoarse voice crack. I don't know what that was. Well, Pete's gonna go to work. I don't know if we'll get an interview from either of them. Momo is welcome to join the call. Momo's saying he's pretty sick right now. Looks like a pretty tough spot for him. But shoutouts to playing anyway. All right, so no interviews. That's going to be that. We're going to try to move along with the schedule here. We got Drogi and Super Viper, commentated by Rock Chalk and D whatever. So that's going to be fire. Hopefully, you guys stick around. I'm sure that'll be a great match. See y'all later. Bye.